have Wednesday Night with Those Guys, and Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys.
Calm down. I can't see, but I can tell by the way you guys are typing. Your mouths are watering. You're gonna hear, yes, Herman did say something.
My bad.
Herman did say something. He made a prediction way back on.
No. Well, anyway, what I want to, I just want to
go. We'll get to it.
I just want to greet everybody here in the stream, because I had a call that was coming in, and that just as the stream started. Anyway, welcome everyone to Wednesday Night with Those Guys, and Wednesday Night with Those Guys, as you know, is sponsored by Those Guys.
Those Guys.
And this is where we talk about everything in the drone world, and we promote the use of drones. I hope everyone has been enjoying their week so far. I mean, today is not such a nice day here in New York. I don't know what the weather is like where you are, and I hope you've been able to get out and fly if the weather is good where you are. Here, not so much today. The last few days we've had some
morning, Rob.
Off and on. Even when it was cloudy, we had some nice calm winds to be able to get out there and fly. And I've had some little adventures during this week, but and I'll share that with you later on. But yeah, we're here to Wednesday. Lawrence, how's your week been going so far? How's everything with you?
After hearing this news I heard earlier today, real good. Real good. I'm doing all right. Mark Fisher, let's give a quick shout out to everybody out there. Mark Fisher, Big Matt, SJM, good morning, Rob over in Australia, Rob and Sue, Feet on the Ground, Joe Black, Irvin Mitchell, Jody's here, Steven from the Flyby Guys is here.
Oh, Steven, what's good, Steven?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
He's been here for a minute. In fact, a few people have come in. We're coming in a little early, but we appreciate that. And
I saw Jody here, but
he had to go check dinner. He had to go check dinner. Okay, but Irvin Mitchell says it's 82 there. I'm doing real good.
Wow. Okay.
I'm doing better than I have,
Where you at, Irv?
A death in the family, a while back and stuff. So I'm back to normal now.
Well, most people don't know you were going through that for like the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, but now I'm back and I'm ready to fly. I'm ready to do everything. Okay. You asked. How are you? What's up with you?
I'm good. I mean, I'm got to put in an order for some more batteries.
Yeah. You're not the only one.
Need more
You're
power.
Not the only one.
Need more power.
Something.
What?
Chrome keeps shutting down.
Really?
Chrome keeps shutting down. I go to type in the chat. I may have to restart this machine. I don't know, but I'm not going to restore. I'm going to come in the good old-fashioned way. I clicked restore to bring it back up, and it did the same shit. So I'm just starting a new page now and coming back into the chat.
So you're just opening up the new.
Yeah. I'm going into a new window and just. Oh no!
What? What?
The setup of everything.
Yeah.
The stories, the videos.
Yeah.
I have to redo all of that too. Hey, Fly Guy Merrill, Jackson RC.
You doing
Warren Akarasho. It's freaking Chrome. Chrome did it.
You're doing real good.
That's all right. It's not one thing, it's another. Maybe because I was saying how much of a good time I'm having. I'm like, things are back to normal, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it is?
So they decided to just shut down Chrome, say, throw a wrench in the works.
So
but I'm still doing good.
So is it working for you now?
I'm opening up the windows. I'm reopening everything back up.
Okay.
That's all I can do. But we're good so far.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, JSK, what's good, man?
Hey, Leonard.
So you can't even see the chat. Huh?
I got the chat open, but I'm busy in other windows, reopening all of
I
the videos.
got you.
Yeah, the videos.
Big Mac.
When Chrome shut down, it
Big
shut down everything.
Big, Big Mac, Big Mac, Big Mac. We talked about it, Big Mac. We talked about it.
Yep, the prediction. And I can I just say one
Yeah.
thing? I wish I knew exactly what episode it was
Which stream?
where you said which stream it was where you said DJI is not finished with the Mavic 3 and the only thing they could possibly come out with would be a Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Well,
want to give you kudos for that. I'm going to
well,
search and try and find how far back
well,
that episode
well,
was.
later on, I'll get to why I said that.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And I'll
Cool.
tell you why I said that. But in my, doing of my
In your
checking out
defense.
stuff. No, I was no, I'm when we do a live stream. So when you do a live stream and you talk about drones and stuff like that, and you listen to some of the stuff going on out there, I was listening to this thing and I heard that well, why do I say listen? It was actually an online then they actually had a video that I could listen to. But
Right.
yeah, Virgin Orbit is going out of business, Lawrence. Or they're shutting down completely, basically. From what I understand. Yeah, they're laying off 675 of their 775 employees that they have at the company, and that's because they weren't able to get the funding that they needed to be able to stay afloat. So they're gonna shut down.
So Virgin Orbit is shutting down.
Yeah, that's done. That's
From
done.
what I see, I had no I'm familiar with the Virgin logo. I did not know that Virgin Orbit was what he had transitioned everything into.
Yeah,
I had heard Virgin Orbit. I thought it was part of the space program slash eVTOL slash everything
that's done.
else.
That's done.
Wow.
This is done.
Hey Gary, what's up, man?
Gary, what's good, man?
Well, you know what?
How was it? You
Hey
had
B
fun?
Mac. If they're getting rid of that many, how
Mhm.
many? 400,000?
No, they don't. They had those small numbers. 675.
675 people? Okay.
Yeah,
That's probably a couple of branches depending on where. Jim's droning, what's up?
of 775 people. So they're gonna keep 100. They're gonna keep 100 people just to dump all of the garbage and stuff like that. And
Jim's droning says, I predict you will be able to buy any drone you like in 2023 as long as it has Mavic 3. It's a Mavic 3.
No, and I'll tell you why I say no to that one. Jim, a little bit, but we were checking out. Everybody was You have this the what do you call it the stuff for the what's that, remote ID?
No.
You don't have it? Oh, okay.
No.
No, because I
No.
was trying to I was gonna show that to everyone. But anyway, never mind.
Sorry, man. I'm running
Yeah,
on
that's all right.
bubblegum and shoestrings here.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Well, anyway, we were also looking at how they went with remote ID, going into remote ID.
Yeah.
Talking about remote ID and everybody, knowing that that's coming up. Was that in September?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I don't know the exact date. Was the 16th? Is it? I don't know.
Supposedly between the 16th and the 23rd, something weird like that.
Yeah.
Don't quote us. Don't quote us on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Something to that. What's that, Gary? You missed me? I'm sorry. Yeah, I wish I could have made it. I wish I could, but I had something to do with the family that evening, Saturday evening, that there was no way I could have did the meetup and then jumped on a plane and come back to New York to do that. That wouldn't have worked out. I would have, if I would have come down there, I would have wanted to stay till Monday and then leave Monday like we did before.
Yeah,
So that way we can hang out the day of
the
the
whole
meetup
weekend.
and hang out the
Hi, Artist
day
Fun.
after and fly with everybody. Because really at those meetups, you don't get to fly much. It's more of socializing. So that's when I really brought out the video camera. You bring out the camera and you start video and talking and checking
That's
out
exactly
with the whole day. You get to meet everybody that you place the names that
Hey,
you
Maddie.
see in the chat.
What's up?
With all with a face now, and that's the one thing. What's up, Maddie? That's the one thing that I miss the most about not being able to get there, is that a lot of you guys, I see your face, I see your names, and I see your logos, but I don't see your face. And even watching your videos and stuff like that, I don't get to see you in person. So that's what makes those meetups so special and stuff like that. Not so much to not so much to just to say that we go on the fly, because you really don't get to fly much. You do more socializing and stuff like that, and getting to know some of the guys that you see on for me in the chat and on your videos. Like I actually, after going to for instance to Rhode Island, I don't even know why, but the guy was like, he was like naturally grew on me. But Mark Fisher, I had to make another trip up there to hang out with him.
Yeah. We did. We went back up, and Ray Kelly did too. We met that day. Ray Kelly took the ferry across, and we drove up.
Ray Kelly is a different kind of guy. He's cool. You know what I mean? I like Ray Kelly.
He needs to put you remember
really like Captain Ray.
You remember, what was that stream? Andrew. How he used to do memes of people?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a meme of Ray Kelly in a James Bond suit. And the captions, Captain Ray Kelly, International Traveler. Artist Fun says she's got her garden up. Almost done. Okay.
She does some really great work, everyone. If you check out her channel.
Agreed. Gary says he's already number 6 for next year, Herman.
There's no holiday that she does not make some kind of decoration for. So if you guys go and check out, I mean, most of you guys are not into that kind of stuff, but your wives might really love some of that stuff. My glasses are dirty.
Gary says that he's already number 6 for next year.
Yeah. Number 6.
And now they did say they had 18 drones in the air, and Jim's droning is agreeing with me. I said, I don't do those things anymore because I value my drone. And Jim's droning says, yep, Lawrence, I wouldn't trust that many drone pilots in a pile. Well, it's not that, but
I'm not doing that.
Herman, you remember when we were at Francis Lewis Park and there were like 26 drones in the air?
That's when that happened to him.
I went up. Oh, that's when that dude lost his Phantom too.
That's when that happened to him.
Yeah, I went up, and you know what?
When everybody went to recover their drone, he thought that.
Yeah. It didn't turn out good. It didn't turn out good. I would like to visit New York meetup, hopefully this summer. Well, we don't have to have a meetup for you to come to New York, bro. You hop on a bus, you're in Philly, Fly Guy Merle. Let us know what weekend you're coming. Watch the weather. Let us know in advance, and if we're available, we'd hook up and fly.
On a weekend?
Anyone to come to New York and fly. There's thousands of pilots. You guys know Deneen, all of these guys.
On the weekend, yeah, we can make that happen.
Right.
During the week, that's hard.
Yeah. During the week, unfortunately, it's hard enough for me to. Yeah, it's hard. It is. But anyway, welcome to Wednesday nights with those guys. We
Yeah,
got a decent stream tonight.
I was telling you before, like Dedrone, citywide drone detection, identification, and mitigation tech.
Yeah.
Well, it's a citywide network and UAV resource base.
What happened? Audio went out. You still there? Herman froze. So I don't know if it's on my end or his. If you guys there hear me, put a 1 in the room. If you hear Herman, well, I guess I don't know what happened, but anyway, I'm still here. Can you guys even hear me? They can hear me. They can hear me. Is Herman frozen or something? Because on Zoom, he's frozen. Here. Anyway, I'll keep going until then. Hey, Herman's froze. Thanks, Big Matt. Hey, Briggs Scott. Welcome to the stream. It's on Herman's end. All right. Anyway, welcome to Wednesday nights with those guys. Until Herman gets back, I'm going to try and play this video. It's not a one shot, but it's a video in Venice, and you will see that it's impossible to perform this one shot as a one shot because of all of the bricks and the buildings and stuff like that. But hold on, we might as well play it with sound. What the hell? Shout out to Joshua Turner. This is Venice, Italy. He does, like I said, because of the concrete and stuff, he would have to be up above somewhere to be able to fly through some of these places. And I thought sound was on, but hold it. Here we go. The place is brilliant. I would love to fly certain areas here. Some of them I wouldn't mess with. Something like this, that's a great shot there. All I know is, welcome back, Herman. I just put on the video until you came back, and I decided to put this one on. Like I said, it's not a one shot. I was explaining how hard it would be to fly around all of this concrete and everything.
Yeah, but it's not streaming, is it?
To do a one shot. I'm still live.
Okay.
Yeah, when you bumped out, it made me host. Now that you're back in, you have control.
I'm just looking at the YouTube studio.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to get back.
And the video. All right. Take your time. You got like another 30 seconds. Unfortunately, while the video is showing, I can on full screen. I cannot see the chat, but
yeah, I'm back.
Okay, and the video is playing on the stream, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm seeing it in the what do you call it? The Zoom window. Now it's showing on the YouTube.
Okay, cool.
But
so you're back. Yeah. But anyway, that video was Joshua, I can't see his name, Joshua Turner. It was the cinematic video. It did have a few cuts in it, blah, blah, blah. But if you want to see it in 4K, here's the link. And thanks for hanging out until it's like a video game. Flying FPV is like a video game. Hey, Briscott, I'm sorry.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I wish I could. And I'm not going to worry about it.
You're back. That's all that matters.
I don't know what that was. It was a hiccup or something. I don't know.
Well, fortunately, Zoom is smart enough that if there's more than one person on and you get kicked, they make the other person a temporary host.
Well, from what I saw, that was the only thing that went wrong with Zoom.
Remember, I was telling you I was having problems with Zoom playing videos and all of that.
Yeah, from what I saw, that was the only thing that went wrong with Zoom.
What's up,
So
Dan
anyway,
the man?
I'm back, and what I was talking to you about was the how now that they can monitor anything in the airspace in these cities, and this if I didn't mention it before, that this thing is citywide in nearly 40 cities. Now, from what they say about this thing here, is that this they can instantaneously and they can continuously monitor and drone data in their airspace. Now, from what I understand, there's no need for any installation of any equipment. There's no need for monitoring any hardware.
Right.
This is all app-based for law enforcement. It's being used in now they claim in Barcelona. I don't know. Their articles specify Barcelona. I don't know. They're supposed to think about Barcelona, but they claim that they're here in the United States and they're being used in some small and large cities. They're supposedly in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Laredo, Texas, Clearwater. Clearwater. Was that Florida? And what's that? Santa Clara, California.
Yes.
Yeah. So who knows? I don't know. What do I know? This is what I'm hearing about it.
Well, everybody's coming up with drones to fly. They're building drones. They're building eVTOLs. They're building all of this stuff, and they're just like people are building all of these drones. I'm laughing at Dan. Oh yeah, the fakeometer is pegged. It's they're developing software and technology to keep you from flying where you're not supposed to. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because
there are just as many companies out there. A lot of people, a lot of people trying to do this.
Right, because like I said, this here is they can like remember I tell you instantaneously they can detect a drone that is violating special airspace, any specific airspace that's not
right, like a venue, or
or even like something like the UN or
correct that needs a permanent no-fly zone. How close, guys? How close can you get to the U? Of course, with the zoom, 7x zoom, and now the new time zoom.
How close can you get to the UN before?
No, I'm not asking that. I know personally, but I'm saying now they could expand that range, and make you have to zoom in.
You mean from the UN before triggering a no-fly?
Yeah. Dan says, "Hey Herman, who told you to look so sexy on camera?"
I don't know. That's just what my mother and father. That's what they produced.
That's just what happened, right?
Yeah.
But you're right though. To have a permanent no-fly zone or permanent restricted area.
They do.
Yeah, I know they do, but this would help. This would help. This company already has business in New York. They have business in New York, right? You read in the list?
Yeah, I just don't understand if the UN needs it.
Why not? Everybody needs a job.
I'll get into that later.
Let me grab my beer out the fridge.
That's a different stream. But what I'm saying is
it is.
The UN already has a detection system that if you flew your drone past the UN or close to it, they'll pick you up.
Come on. I thought you was going to tell them. If you get
No,
too close, the helicopters will come out.
they will.
Right?
They will deploy
Yes.
helicopters if you're flying over the
Well, you
UN.
got to figure if a place like the UN needs that type of security. Because I'm going to tell you, the presidents of their own countries and the president of this country here don't have half the security the fucking UN has.
Oh, I don't know about all of that, but I'm just saying.
Listen,
they will go take a look.
you have one building where there's always someone international in those buildings.
Yeah, I mean, you're just not supposed to be there.
True.
But for some reason, they don't geofence it till you get into the area. But anyhow.
Right.
Maybe it's different now. I don't. This system, like I said, is for the law enforcement, Lawrence, and they can receive the information on the the pilot's location.
Yes.
The UAV, and receive information on the aircraft's model and serial.
Yo, let me check my door because I just heard something drop in front of me.
And the altitude. So this is nothing different than anything that we've seen before. It's just that they claim that they have for fixed site and for on the go movement. So I guess basically they can set this up. They have a way you can do it on a computer.
Correct.
As also on a police officer's phone and stuff like that. There's a whole elaborate thing that they had set up. I checked out on. They had a video on it on how those systems work.
You were correct, Herman.
What?
They deliver it during the stream.
I told you. That's just how it works. They do it to me all the time.
I know. My Integra goggles yesterday still did not open them. Why? You got them. You're supposed to open them like it's Christmas. Every day's Christmas in the drone community. And which you
know what's funny about that, Lawrence? About every day is Christmas. I remember my father ruined the day of school.
Really?
Yeah. My birthday is always during the school year, early in the school year. And you remember the $6 Million Man, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, when the action figure came out, right, the $6 Million Man,
mm-hmm.
My father put it on the nightstand.
Oh, really?
Because my father used to work 4 to 12. So by the time he get home, I'm sleeping.
Okay.
So he put it on the nightstand. And when I woke up in the morning, it was sitting on the nightstand. Oh, hell no, I'm not going to school. Oh, now I'm kicking and screaming not to go to school. So
right, because you want to open up. My
mind is on the $6 Million Man and not
while you're at school.
And not school. We got to get home after school. Nah, I can't hang out, bro. Nah, I got to go. $6 Million Man. Nah, that'll come on in the weekend. Nah, it's on now, bro. It's on now.
Wow. That's funny.
No, but yeah, that was a horrible day at school. But yeah, no, the elephant in the room.
Yeah, let's get it over with.
You know, we all saw it, and you know, I actually woke up with the sweats to it when I got the alert from DJI's marketing and promotion team, and it seemed like they were all in it at one time. You know, what was it? Lawrence's boy, Osita LV.
Yeah.
Deals drone. And Kajaki or Kazaji or whatever, I can't pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
And even this guy here, what's his name? Igor.
Yeah, even Igor has a photo, but this is the photo that I saw before I saw anything else, Herman.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw the.
Can you still see it?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
can see it.
Okay, this was the photo
Yeah,
I
I
saw what
saw
you
that,
took, and right this immediately
and
right here,
right.
I said, "Holy shit!"
And when I saw this come up, and I started peeking around, and then I looked and I saw the text from Lawrence, I just laughed because I was like, I said this, and I was like, should I even post this in any in what they call it, on the group or whatever, or on my page? And I thought about it for a long time, and I said, let me put it up, because I said that guys.
Look at it good.
And I said, and I'm gonna get into why I brought this up, why I said that. I'm gonna hold that till later. When guys was saying that, we talked about what we're gonna be flying in the future, and we talk about a lot of different things. We talk about what's going on with this Mavic 3, and I hear a lot of guys complaining about SDKs, and even with the minis. I'm gonna get into that later with the mini, because we're gonna talk about mini this and mini that and all of the mini. And with the Mavic 3, and I said to Lawrence, when Lawrence had said, and this is going back, I said, Lawrence, and I said this to Matt, I said, back when guys were talking about that new controller, when I said, that new controller could have came out with the Mavic 3 for all of the money that they asked guys to pay for it. Yep. And what they actually selling and giving that controller away for in the packages that they put together with other drones. And I said that, maybe that controller could have came with the Mavic 3 instead of the what's that, the N1R or whatever the hell that shit is.
Yeah. The N1R1-2.
Yeah, they call that shit a vaccine or some shit. Yeah, but anyway. As time went on and guys started looking at this thing, it kind of started to build buyer's remorse for some of the guys that may have bought the SIN package.
Hey, Angie.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I still say, I believe the Mavic 3, and I still say it's a great drone for anything that's out there right now. And regardless of whatever anybody else is putting out, and you can contest to it, the image quality on it is great.
Oh yes.
I don't see anything right now. And when you start getting into even enterprise level, there's other conversations to be made about that.
Big Matt says maybe it says the RC controller wasn't developed yet. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. But what I'm looking at is that now, maybe, Matt, because I want to talk to you about the RC controller. Anyhow, the Mavic 3, right? I said that Lawrence, I said, and I told this to Big Matt, I said the only thing that could happen now, after we bought this drone, we spent over $2,000-3,000 setting ourselves up with this drone with filters and everything like that, and the RC Pro, and DJI go and drop a Pro. I said that's the only thing else they can do. And since then, they came out with the Enterprise, the Classic.
Keep going.
The multispectral.
Go ahead.
6 or 7. I don't know how many.
This is number 6. This is number 6 because
I'm just like, so now, when you start getting into this Mavic, I said that's the only thing else they can do. But I said to Lawrence, and joking around, I said, the reason why I said that If DJI was not going to put out a Mavic 3 Pro,
right,
the drone community would not let him. The DJI, the drone community would not allow DJI to not put out a Mavic 3 Pro. The drone community would not rest until that thing said Pro on the side of it, and I knew that. So when Lawrence said, what will we be flying in the future? You remember when you did the whole orb thing and you had the little light thing I said to you? And I said, if it's the grandchildren or the great-great-grandchildren of anyone that is flying drones right now, they won't buy it unless it says Pro on it.
Right.
I said that on the
100% right.
And the whole thing is that everybody will keep crying for that Pro. Now, what were you saying, Lauren?
What I was getting ready to say is there are people out there who have not brought the Mavic 3 because, it's too pricey, it's too this, it's too that. But because it has the word Pro on it, they will buy it.
Maybe.
Aviano Robs, how are you, man?
Maybe, because if they didn't like the price of the Mavic 3 and they complained about the price of
there were some people who... Herman,
they're not going to like the price of the Mavic 3 Pro.
But Herman, you know yourself, there are some people that like driving Lamborghinis, and there's some people that like driving Volkswagens. There are some people who drive. Once you drive Mercedes, you don't want to drive nothing else.
Hold on. But the diehard Volkswagen enthusiast, if he could, he would buy a Lamborghini.
Yeah, true.
You know why?
Huh.
It's in the family.
Yeah. Right. But I saw
I'm just saying to you, we all buy DJI. Why? Because it's all in the family. And even, but I'm looking at the stuff that came out. Like I said,
there's
DJI,
the word, Herman.
Right, Pro. DJI had their marketing and promotion team on this late last night, hitting this on Twitter to get it out there.
Because it hit the internet overnight, right, while we were asleep. Now, can you go into this package right here? Because remember what we talked about, what we discussed about the different radios? Okay, now what I was mentioning...
Yeah, in this package, you mentioned that about the radio. What were you saying about
Right, now this is the RC controller, correct?
Yeah.
Now, there's another picture that I saw.
The box.
Here it is, on the box. This is a completely different radio. It's the single one in a drone by itself. Notice the darker casing. So I'm wondering...
The buttons on it.
Right, the different button configuration. You see how this is laid out? Now we go back to this picture here, and those buttons aren't there. So is that maybe a new type of controller they might be introducing?
No, that is the RC Pro in that other picture.
This is the... See, you can't tell because you can't see the antenna. Are there antenna on it? We can't tell.
Well, you can't tell from the picture, but if you look at the RC Pro...
This is the RC Pro that comes with this. So now they have... What I'm saying is they have two different versions out.
So what you're saying that there's a Pro version of that...
Of the Pro. There's a Pro version of the Pro, yes.
No, there's a Pro version of that, the $300 controller? That's what you're speculating?
Yes, I am speculating. I have to say it. I noticed the filters. You got filters. This is a flying more
filters. See, now the filters. See, all DJI did was make this harder for some third-party company to make these filters. Let's go. Get on it. I mean, listen. I don't know what DJI is going to do. You can't call them and ask them. DJI will do what DJI will do. But as far as the guys that you've seen these guys on C to LV and Deal's drones and whatever his name is, and you've seen them when they do the fly-throughs at DJI with the drones and stuff like that. They're one of those guys in the office.
Is Osita 55?
Yeah, one of them. It's one of them guys.
Deal's drone.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of them. They put this stuff out.
But Jim, hey Draymond, but Jim's drone says it looks antennaless, but we can't tell because with pictures you change the angle.
Well, the way it's sitting, I can't tell.
You're right, you cannot tell.
But if you look at the controller itself,
that's the smart controller. So I'm just saying everybody's going ooh, and right. See, Fly Guy Merrill says probably an RC Pro.
That's the RC Pro.
That is the RC Pro. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, all I know is with the twist and tilt of something, you can make it look completely like something else. Until we see one open, there's an open box.
To make it look like you can't see the antennas.
You know what?
I don't know.
We have access.
How far can I bring it that you can't see the antennas?
True. See, like right there, you cannot. But see, hold on. Here's what I want to point out. Yours is slightly indented. This one is indented more. You see between the hold it straight up at the screen. I just want right. Lower it some. Oh, it does have that indentation. Yeah. But at a certain angle, you can hide those antennae. Jim says he can see the antenna. But who knows? All I know is everyone's talking about Mavic 3 Pro, and I notice other than the Mavic 3 Pro because DJI is famous for showing you shit and you not seeing it. There's two different controllers for two different setups.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? I really don't know. We don't know.
Right.
These guys, for the most part, usually it might be off by a couple of weeks, days, months. Who knows? There's supposed to have been an announcement, early April about the Inspire 3.
In fact, let me go. While you're talking, let me go and get that list.
Now piggyback overlapping of events of things coming out, and with the heavy hit that they hit us with last year, with all of the drones and products that they came out with last year, what are they going to do this year? And if this is what's to come, they still keep hitting. I'm like, when is the Inspire 3 going to come? Because the Mavic 3, let's be honest,
is established.
They've already worked out the kinks in that. Now,
here's your schedule.
Right. This calendar, right, that we saw this calendar. Now, we heard that it was supposed to be early April, that they were supposed to make an announcement about
the Pocket 3.
No, because later on, once the Inspire was off on the on its actual release date, when we saw the rumors and stuff that came out for it, they claimed that early April we would hear an announcement on it.
True.
And now here we are, early April. It's still early April. It's still time to go for it to still be early April. We got another week, right? A whole week left, a couple of days left for the early April. But anyway, never mind. But we're now seeing pictures and stuff like that now, even
of the Mavic 3.
Of a Mavic 3 Pro.
Right, but if you notice here, it said 3S. So assuming that's to throw us off.
Right, so now that's not scheduled to be out now.
Until July. 7th month of July.
Maybe I don't know what to say because we haven't seen anything about a Pocket 3 yet.
True, but they were late with the goggles.
They were late with the goggles.
But the goggles in the motion, they were late with that.
According to this guy's calendar.
Right.
So what I think it is that they run interference for one another in this office. Deals is the leads off. He comes out with these calendars right here. He gets on base, right? And then he actually from a lot of the stuff that I actually seen with some of these rumors and stuff come out, this other guy, I can't pronounce this, Kazazi or what? Yeah. I wish somebody could pronounce that and tell me how to pronounce that. But it usually starts there and works its way in between deals and
Hey, Tony.
Osita.
Yes.
And usually on this other guy here, his stuff is usually all in Chinese, so that's why most people don't pay it much mind.
Right.
Yeah, I can never read it anyway because I can't read Chinese, but it's
yeah. I tried.
I usually see stuff there first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then but anyhow, I knew that the Pro was eventually going to come because it had to.
Well,
the drone community wouldn't let them not put it out.
You build it, and they will come.
The drone community wouldn't not let them put it out. You know, I think guys are doing very good work and getting very good use out of the Mavic 3. I don't know what else could possibly be with this drone, but what I will say is I know the one thing that guys will probably ask the most about is probably a mechanical shutter. Right. And I'm going to tell you right here, if they see a mechanical shutter on this drone, and a lot of people will say if they put a mechanical shutter on the drone, it would hurt the Enterprise drone. Not necessarily. Because if they put a mechanical shutter on this drone, you will definitely never see the SDKs for this drone. Because you won't buy the Enterprise drone. You see, because now this would become an all-in-one solution. You feel where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I don't know what size sensor they're putting in this drone. I don't know what they're doing with the other two cameras.
Right.
I have no specs on it. I'm not on the inside office with DJI. This is all me listening and seeing what these guys have put out.
Because I'm gonna pull up this,
from what I think, from what I see.
I'm gonna pull up this picture right here.
And what I do know is what I said. The only thing is that they could have done is come up with a Pro. And the only reason why if they even weren't going to put out a Pro, the drone community would not let them not put out a Pro, because that was the first thing that I saw come up from when the Mavic 3 first came out. That was one of the other complaints about the price, Lawrence, for that kind of money, and it doesn't say Pro.
Right, but I wanted to point out something here. We already know the Mavic 3 comes with a 4/3 sensor. That would be this larger bottom one here.
Right.
This one is as close to a 1-inch sensor as possible.
It may be.
Now, this is the only thing that's in question, and I'm wondering, and this is only speculation. Don't say Lawrence said it had this, and that, because nobody knows what the fucking specs are. This is just me saying that I suspect that this is slightly smaller than an inch. Where you have a 4/3 here, 1 inch here. If this is a zoom, it has 3 times zoom. Supposedly.
That's all cameras zooming in at one time?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, of course, you have to put it in zoom mode, but this looks like a zoom camera right here. As you understand? I'm just wondering.
You can't tell from these pictures.
True. You can't tell from any of them. You don't know
what they're going to do. We do know that.
Hold it. Yes, you can. You can right here. You can kind of tell right here. Hold on.
What can you tell?
This lens right here. Look at this one. You see where this lens starts? This is probably a 1 inch. That's only speculation. For some reason, this lens looks a little smaller. I'm assuming I'm assuming they have 3 different. I'm trying to say it looks like they have 3 different lenses in here.
I hear you.
The 4/3 of 1 inch, and then you would have the next size below that for zoom.
I know that box is getting bigger. A little tighter.
Listen. Right, 4/3, a wide angle, and a telephoto lens. Big Matt said, agrees with.
Yeah,
And right,
I
usually,
that's what I would assume too. I get it, but
and
I was
usually the
gonna, I
telephoto
was gonna let
lenses
you
are a
go
little,
on with it.
but usually the telephoto lenses are a little tiny 1/3 souped up, hyped up sensors.
It's probably going to be the same size as what's already in there.
Probably.
What I want to know right now, though, or what I believe is that
Cool
what's
Bick, what's good, man?
cool
DJI
bit?
is Apple. Yep.
But DJI has always been doing this nonsense. And if you look, you start watching, you see the patterns that they follow. But let's ask this question. How much you
Yeah.
think this one is going to cost?
Huh. Here we go. If I could talk fast like a
Because we know what the SIN package costs
mm-hmm.
with all of that internal storage memory business like that.
I agree.
And
What do you guys think the
we
price would be out there?
know we know we know what the enterprise version is going for. And we
Mm-hmm.
know what classic, and everybody has their spot. So where does that fit in? Does it fit in between the Mavic 3 and the SIN? I'm talking about just the drone price. We know what the drone price valued out as, roughly in between what? Because what the Mavic 3 Classic was what, about 17?
Yes, the Mavic 3 Classic was 17. Yes. Fly Guy Merrill says 4K. That might be a little, well,
4,000?
yeah, he says 4K. What do you guys think? Come on, Cool Big Matt. You guys know cameras out there. It Frank Rizzo, you
I
another
don't
guy.
know.
What do you
I'm
think,
curious to
give or
know.
take, this thing would cost? Because if it has the word pro, they're gonna make you pay a pro price for it.
Oh yeah.
LOL, affirm it. Wonder what the payments would be. Rent.
Not really. Not really. Not
Yeah,
really.
I would be interested to know because what do you think it would be priced at, Herman? Seriously, if it has a 4/3, a telephoto and the other lens, three different lens sizes, um,
Okay.
and the second
Okay.
question is for you guys who brought that
Follow,
SIN package, would you get one?
follow I'm going with this. Follow I'm going
All
with this.
right.
DJI has always been about content creation when
Yep.
it comes to their equipment,
Yes.
except for their enterprise stuff.
Right.
So if you notice, DJI wants you to be able to capture what's on the ground with their cameras and their gimbals and stuff like that. And it wants
Mm-hmm.
you to be able to capture what's on the ground from the sky, as well as the height of things that come from the ground up.
From the distance or up close.
Right. So now, with that being said, everybody and everything has always been about the cinematic shot. We've seen what the Mavic 3 can do, and everybody's been satisfied with that. And the
Right.
drone is doing wonderful things.
Right.
Other than what the drone is already doing now, right? Other than like when I mentioned to you before, it's like let's deep dive into it. What we're gonna do? We're gonna open up the 4K. We're gonna open up the 5K, the 6K, 8K. What we're gonna do with it? Because you gotta sell this thing.
Right. Now,
You
see,
understand what
that
I'm
would be
saying to you?
great to introduce a 6K camera.
Let's deep dive. You got to deep dive in this. You can't just give me 4K 60, or you got to go with 120
Or
or
4K
better.
120. Hey,
Or
Michael
better.
Blades.
You understand what I'm saying to you? To
Yes.
sell this thing, to be able to get your $4,000 for this thing, to be able to make guys, you know what? Well, I told you, man, I bought this piece of shit. Yo, I'm selling my Mavic 3, man. I'm getting that new shit, yo. I'm getting the new one. What does shoot,
Right,
bro?
right.
Yo,
This
you
only
can take
shoots
my
4K.
Mavic 3 and the Mini. Yo, just give me the. Anyway.
Why? Because it only shoots 4K at 60. Now you want the one that shoots in 6K? It would be a great way to introduce their 6K camera, though.
Well, yeah, I mean that,
A
and
6K camera. I'm saying they like I know they have it. A 6K camera.
yeah, but to be able to do that and to be able to, open up to give me more. And I've said this before. You like, everybody's crying about aperture. Well, maybe you could do something with that aperture on that camera and trade,
Mm-hmm.
bump it a little
Mm-hmm.
bit in both directions a little bit. Do something to give me that to make this a camera, a pro camera.
In other words, do something to make
Other
you
than,
want to buy it
other than
immediately.
stick lenses inside this box. Because that
Right.
box is getting real tight, bro.
I know. I know. I agree.
That box is
I
getting
do
real
agree
tight.
with you.
So, like I said, you got to do more inside of the internal software of this thing to give me like, more stuff with the, image quality. You got that. You got image quality.
Fly Guy Merrill
There's
seems to
other things you
agree
probably could
with
do.
something for 6K. That would hit Ortel in the head.
I get it. I mean, listen, I like what DJI has done so far with a lot of their products, but for you to come out with a Pro and you're gonna try to move it, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, I'm not saying. Listen, if it was something smaller, I would say we don't need it. If it was something like this, do we need it? I don't know. We still don't need it, but
right.
I'm interested.
Right.
I'm interested. Like, where can we go with this? Because I know what my camera can do as opposed to what the camera on my drone can do.
Exactly.
So are we getting closer? Are we getting closer? Let's see what we're doing with this, And that's some of the internal software of the camera being able to do certain things. Like I said, 6K, 8K, whatever it may be able to do, as well as bump up the 4K, 4K, not 4K. You can't keep giving me 4K 60 and then 120 is only a slow-mo feature. No, give me that shooting anyway. And then if you want to make it a pro, I mean, that's just my thought on it. I just want to.
I agree with you. Make it appetizing. Because right now, the only thing that DJI has not done in the drone world has come out with a consumer, prosumer 6K camera. That's the only thing they haven't done.
I mean, but
that's me personally.
I get what you're saying, but honestly, would you have stood the Mavic 3 up against whatever Ortel had put out with those?
Yeah. Which means the 6K camera would just go up to Ortel and across the jaw.
So you saying so you that dude, right? So you that dude, right, that will come in the park and see some dudes that you would consider them dudes being soft and kick their ball over the fence to show them whose yard this is, right?
I didn't say it in so many words, but
that's exactly what it would be.
But yeah, it's business.
Kick their ball over the fence to show them whose yard this is.
It's the American way. Wow. Hey, Johnny Drone Flyer, what's
They're
up?
They're not
man?
American.
And if anyone agrees or disagrees, please put in the chat. All I'm saying is the only thing DJI has not done, and I'm looking into the camera and saying this, is come up with a 6K camera. Whether this Pro is a 6K camera or not, nobody freaking knows until they come out with the specs.
Okay.
Nobody knows.
These
are only speculations and wishes.
Would you get one?
Yeah. Hell to yeah. 6K, yes. 6K DJI camera? Fuck yeah.
All right.
I might have to sell some FPV birds, but fuck yeah. Serious, bro.
Well, I'm renting out a room for 3 months. If anybody's interested, I need to get 2 of these.
Because I know also when if I were to get one, you're renting out a room. Oh shit. Who else out there would be? Well,
This
we
New
wouldn't
York, I
know
can get
until
that
we
in
saw
3 months.
price.
I can get
Only
two of
two
them in three
people put
months.
in the chat, Herman, what they think the price of this Pro would be. I put 3,500. Fly Guy Merrill put
The
4K,
4K, yeah,
4,000.
4,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in between the two of them. I'm not exactly showing a hard number, but it's going to be a little hefty price because they can and
Frank Rizzo
will.
says he would wait for 8K. The only problem is Frank Rizzo, with waiting for 8K. That would be a hell of a jump, but they can sit
Um,
on that shit for a while.
um,
They can sit on it for a while.
well,
I'm
you're talking
thinking
it does what double what the 4K just
that makes sense.
it's not
But
that
knowing
big of
DJI,
a deal, but
they'll piece
it's
it to
not
you
that
at 6K.
it's not that big of a deal with the signs that they already have.
True.
You know what I'm saying to you? Because I mean, honestly, what I believe that it might be is like a hybrid dumb down of what you're seeing on, say, like the Matrice type of camera with
Yeah.
dumbed down series of what may be the feature on the Inspire 3 if it's to come.
Right. And Frank Rizzo says 5,000 basically.
Yeah, somewhere in that price range, which means that not only is that not for a lot of people, but that means if they come out with this Inspire 3, that's definitely not for you.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Well, all I want to know is our friends, our
mhm,
local friends, Herman,
yeah.
um, have that do reviews have been real quiet.
On.
Hmm, There's three.
Well, I mean, I've
There's
heard
Pro.
stuff
There's
about it,
Pro.
and I've heard stuff about it, and and like I said, it's all speculation. Nobody knows what's going to happen with it, but you know, moving on from the mini, what the see, they talking mini this, they talking mini that.
Yeah, yeah,
Mini
yeah.
this, mini this, mini that, mini this, mini that, mini. The mini's been,
Well,
but it's been all over the damn place with talks about the mini and the SDKs and guys wanting SDKs and SDKs and SDKs for the mini. We all have seen there was a release of a firmware for the everybody knows this, even if you don't fly a mini, but there was a firmware that for the what was that for the Mini 3 that
yeah.
that now they have a 48 megapixel raw photos. They
Oh,
they can do that. 48 uh uh 48 megapixels raw on the
it's
mini.
a new it's a
Yeah,
new mode, you're saying.
it's on the Mini 3. It's a new mode. They is a firmware for it. I'm quite sure everybody has downloaded that firmware. And there's a firmware also for the RCN1. There's a firmware for that. And there's a firmware for the those who have the integrated screen joint,
Right.
the new pretty gray controller.
Okay.
Right. For the controller, basically.
Interesting.
I'm quite sure everybody has done these updates. I don't have to get into which versions is it. In the chat, put a 1 if you need me to get into what versions you should be in. If not, I won't read them off because I'm quite sure everybody has done this by now. It's been out. This firmware has been out about almost this week. The week now, well, right?
Yeah.
On this, yeah,
Yeah, about close to a week.
yeah, close to a week now. Not only like I said, all the raw photos, but yeah, that was one of the things that the 48 megapixel raw photos that this thing achieved with this firmware. It's a 48 megapixel photo raw mode. Yeah. So that's what's found now in with the firmware update for this. And you know, this was usually featured on something like was at the Mini 3 Pro.
Yes.
Yeah. That was on that drone, but now it comes to the Mini 3.
Okay.
Shoot. Yeah, I mean, and they can also now have the option to reset all settings by in the to the clear all data. You tap reset all data, it'll reset all of your camera and all of the gimbal settings and everything like that back to the
Factory.
to the default mode. That was
I don't like that, but okay.
well, you can do it on all of them. I think that if you do that, you also lose the internal storage.
Yes.
As well as the SD card.
Including flight logs.
Yeah, and the flight logs for that.
See, if you were selling it, I could
Yes.
see doing that. I could see doing that and then unbinding it and things like
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I don't think there's a
After you sync all your flights to your new drone, yeah, I can understand that.
Hey, Brooklyn Jimmy, what's good, man? And tripod mode. Someone said, and he put that in the tripod. You getting it, her Mavic 3 Pro? You one more space. You got one more space up there.
What happened?
Big Matt says, you getting it, her Mavic 3 Pro? You got one more space up there. He's right, Matt. He's gonna have to put a floating shelf in the back, Matt. Eventually. Look out for the 1.4 or 1.8 aperture. Now, see, that's slick.
See, cool. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. That's what I mean. Like, you got to do something with that aperture. You got to go back and forth either way, both sides of that aperture. You got to bump it in both ways, both ends. But make it something pro. Make it something pro. You're already getting to the point of where, like, what are we going to be doing here? Like, seriously.
Right.
I don't know. What we have right now is great.
All we can do is wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, wait and see. I just hope it just put it on. I hope it comes when it's supposed to come on the calendar.
Hey, Brooklyn Jimmy, I just supported your channel, man. Thanks for coming through and showing some support.
You're right up in there.
Yeah, I'm right up in there. Yeah. That's what's up. I figured I didn't see my dude, son. I'm good, keeping it Brooklyn. Right next to the Minolta camera, Herman. He said you got a space. I see. They're plotting spaces for your Mavic 3. Right next to the Minolta camera, you can put the Mavic 3 Pro. To the side of it.
This is a nice old camera. That camera older than some people.
Anyway, if you're just getting here, welcome to Wednesday Nights with those guys. We have not paid homage to our sponsors because
because Lawrence forgot to tell me.
I take my earpiece out so I don't have to get calls.
No, but I just wanted to finish mentioning something about this. All of the firmware updates and stuff with this.
Okay.
There was a firmware update. Well, not a firmware update. I wouldn't say it was what you call it not a firmware update, but it's an update for the app.
Right.
And that update for the app, update to this one I'm gonna read out for the Fly app.
Hey Trini.
Version was 1.9.9. Now I understand that guys are having an issue or something happened with.
Yeah, you guys might want to listen to this real good.
There was a version, I guess was it 1.9.8 or whatever.
Yeah.
that was supposedly released, and
Mm-hmm.
there was some issue. I don't know, because I remember there was 2 downloads that I had gotten for the excuse me, notifications that I had gotten for the Fly app before I had even used it. And and I was, because I was checking it out to make sure I had everything ready to go when I was ready to go. And excuse me, before I had used it, the in between usage, I saw the update, and then when I was checking to make sure everything was good, there was another update.
Right.
I checked, IMU and all that stuff in the house before I go to a location. So that's when I saw so I was like, wait a minute, another update for the Fly app. But I knew there was an update supposedly to allow the use for the with all of the other stuff that happens now with the Mini, that is allowed with the Mini 3 Pro and everything, so that you can use the Mini, all of the updates that came in for the Minis. For all of the mini, it was because it was mini for the last week or so. Everything was about the Mini, and leading up to this morning, everything that came out was all these updates for the Mini. So that's why I was wondering why they came out with another app update for it. But
Right.
another
Correct.
app update that came out that produced that other one. The 1.9.9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes I don't even check them. I just do the app update because I don't want to have
I do.
problems.
I've learned to do that. Here come the 1.4, 1.8 aperture. Cool Bic from
Yeah, I
your
would like
ears,
to.
from your mouth to DJI's ears, just
Yeah.
like
Just
we
don't go
heard.
too far because we want to keep the cost down a little bit on
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We already reaching, bro. We already
it.
reaching. If they take this drone right here, and
Because they already played with that with the Mini.
if they take this drone right here, and if it's 6K compatible, or
Mm-hmm.
like you said, give us that 1.8 or that 1.4 aperture,
Mm-hmm.
yo, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people gonna be happy.
Mm-hmm. But they won't
But
buy it.
keep in mind, for those, I just want to bring this up real quick, Herman. For those that got here a little late,
Mm-hmm.
notice y'all are all looking at the bird, going ooh and ah. Notice the RC controller here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and on the box there's an RC Pro. So it looks like they may be coming out with 2 different controllers. Wait and see what they come out with, because nobody's seen anything. I just wanted to point it out because people are like, ooh, look at the Mavic 3 Pro, but like I said earlier, no one's looking at the controllers.
I want to know what it costs without the controller.
Without the controller, I could
Yeah,
see
because
easy.
I'm not buying another drone from DJI with a controller until they come up with a new controller system. I'm not
You
doing
know
it.
what? Free on weekends, except during the week. Yeah, we're busy during the week too.
Ooh.
Plan some. I'm telling Fly Guy Merle, when is he going to come to New York and fly? Because
Oh.
he's in Philly. But the
Mm-hmm.
weekends are good. Just let us know in advance, a
Mm-hmm.
week in advance.
Okay. So Lawrence,
Charlie Week says, "Man, we definitely not going to see an SDK now for the Mavic 3."
you
Agreed.
don't you actually didn't need it because I mean, okay.
DJI is trying
I
not to
just
give
don't
it.
understand why guys want it. I see what you're saying about being able to use a third-party software with it,
Yeah,
but then now you kill the sales of the enterprise drone. And I understand it puts DJI in a catch-22 situation, where is that guys might want to have fun with it, and then there's other guys that DJI saying, well, if they can have fun with it, why can't it makes it a solution to be able to do something. And
right.
for the guy who's actually doing it, he will say the same thing that I'm about to tell you. No, because with the rolling shutter issue, it would probably take longer for them to be able to render the work photos that they need to be able to do the deliverables that they need with mapping. Now, maybe not so much on the regular ortho mosaic, but if you want anything high quality image, the rendering time, and I'm not saying that it can't be done, but the rendering time and producing time grows larger because of
more data.
The issues of the rolling shutter. Now, with a drone that has a mechanical shutter or what we call a global shutter, it doesn't have that same issue. So the quality of the image, the rendering of the image of the images in the software, and being able to produce the deliverables that they want, they can actually do that a lot faster with a drone such as the Phantom 4 Pro, and even faster with the Mavic 3 Enterprise. So SDKs, you're right. You definitely won't see them if you see a mechanical shutter on this Mavic 3 Pro. You definitely won't do it. You won't see it. You won't see it. You won't see it. Now, when it comes to the Mini, I don't understand why guys want it, because the Mini would have to have terrain mode.
I'm fighting real hard here to stay quiet, but go ahead.
The Mini would have to have terrain mode on it for you to be able to actually map quality with it because of the size of the sensor. And with the rolling shutter issue, you definitely would have to be like about 75 feet to 100 feet off the ground to be able to do this properly. Because even with the Phantom 4 Pro and even say, I'm gonna go even bigger. Anybody, like, if Draymond is here, he can contest to this. The higher you go, the image quality is
you lose quality.
Great. Right, you lose quality. So you even get it with something, say, like the Matrice, the 300, and that is the best camera for that type of situation, to be able to see what's on the ground. So I always say, the bigger the eye, the better it can see. The Mini is just not good for that. Even if you had put a mechanical shutter on the Mini would still have to fly lower to the ground to get the same image quality that they can. Maybe it might be a little faster.
Exactly.
Who knows? I don't know.
I just had asked Trini and Brooklyn, how did they find the stream? And come to find out, Herman, the stream was recommended. Been over a year. I played the background. First video I seen on Herman trying to find GPS on the Mavic 3. Now I watch on my bus ride from work. Yo, we appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, we do appreciate that. And Trini Week said we came up as a recommended page. Make sure you mark us down. We're here every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I mean, unless it's some crazy holiday, like we might even be here Christmas, but keep coming through. We do drone news, drone tech, and stuff like that. That's why I had asked. They did the same thing with the Mavic 2 Pro. Cool, Vic says.
Yeah, but they still had an Enterprise edition.
That's true also. That is true.
And DJI is getting all their chips now. And truthfully speaking, I wouldn't even compare the Mavic 2 Pro to the Mini in as far as the sensor size and its actual ability to do certain things. You're facing the camera straight down most of the time. An altitude above ground to be able to catch these images as the drone is moving. You don't really want it with the Mini. But yeah, we were saying now, supposedly with the Mini 3 Pro now you got all kind of cinematic shooting going on, right, Lawrence?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Mini 3 Pro. The Mini 3 Pro's also got a firmware update. The Mini 3
Mm-hmm.
Pro is being able to be bumped up. And I like this now. It's really now a pro. It's really now a pro. So now what did they do to the Mini 3 Pro, Lawrence? What did they do? Let's look at it. Now you can fine-tune your Mini 3 Pro, Lawrence. You can
Really?
you can fine-tune the aircraft and gimbal in the different modes, the and send and the normal, and just like you could with the Mavic 3 now, and what you did with the what you used to with the Phantom 4 Pro and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can go in and change all your gains and your expo. You can maximize your settings to be able to get down to like what everybody has been talking about, the original tripod mode.
Right.
Slow moving,
Okay.
so you can do that now with this drone. I think that's great. Just hope you don't get a gust of wind when it's moving that slow. The mini is liable to go down the block. But no, the Mini 3 is a nice little bird, but or Mini 3 Pro, I should say. There's a difference. You got to put some respect on a name.
True.
Yeah.
True. True. True.
But the Mini 3 Pro, you can now change all of these settings. Like I said, you can fly like the big boys.
All right. That's what's up.
You can, so you're
Yeah,
familiar
well,
with the settings.
Jim's droning's right. It gives like tripod mode.
Yes.
Welcome back, Gary.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed
right,
all the
Jim
talk,
Cronin.
Gary, about the Mavic 3 Pro, but you could watch the replay. We
Where'd you go, Gary? Were you sleeping?
He probably took a nap. Who knows? He came down in the States. I don't. Did anyone search him before he went back across the border?
Oh, Gary? Probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I'm wondering. I was just wondering. That's all.
but
You know we love you, Gary.
But Gary knows if he drives in, right? If he flies up to as far as he can go and then drive into to Canada, he can tape all the contraband that he wants to his body with duct tape. all the drone batteries and drone accessories that he wanted, he have to worry about it when he goes through.
Big Matt goes, don't they have an embargo? They're selling a lot of products for being banned. I agree with you, Matt. They are
they just banned from not being able to be used on government contracts and certain enforcement agencies. But yeah, that's all it is. That's to stick up the mud is in the United States, not any place else. They're not going to stop creating products just because the United States got this big proverbial stick.
For real. For real, that'll just bring up the price if they got to smuggle them in. You hear?
I'm not using it, and I'm in shit.
You hear, Herman? Yeah. That'll just bring up the price when they got to smuggle them in. Serious. You think DJI is going to stop selling here in the United States because they're banned on certain Department of Defense? And come on, stop it.
Can you imagine that?
United States is not the #1 buyer of DJI drones.
Can you imagine that, Lars?
What?
Somebody smuggling a DJI drone taped to their body with the duct tape, and you put it back together when you
see on the X-ray machine, it's taped to his belly. You're going, we got a live one here. He's got a drone taped to his belly. Don't tase him. Let's just walk him off the side.
No, all of the parts has been separated so it lay flat.
Oh, you stupid. GPS module here, camera under the arm.
That camera can just sit in your bag, it's like little thing.
Rear propellers wrapped around like ribs. U.S. Customs swabbed me on the way in. PSA gave me a reach. Wow, Gary. Gary's funny. He says U.S. Customs swabbed him on the way in. That's just to make sure they have your DNA and they can find you anywhere in the fucking world.
So how much time left on putting back together that Mavic 3 that you got in the States?
That you smuggled. You smuggled back into Canada. That's funny. Hey, if you guys haven't clicked the like button, please do. Herman, we still have not paid homage to the sponsors.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Wednesday night with
those. Go ahead. My bad.
You know what else we forgot, Lawrence?
What?
Oh no, we didn't. Okay. Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
those guys. Salute to everyone out there. Because those guys sponsors those guys. So we have to pay homage to the sponsors.
Do we?
Could you imagine? I don't even want to ask where they swabbed you, Gary.
Oh.
I don't even.
Knowing Gary?
I have to refresh this page.
Knowing Gary, he got swabbed all over.
Could you imagine?
Well, yeah, moving right along. Talking about your minis, because I said, them guys, they talking mini this, mini that.
Mm-hmm.
It's mini. But the Mini 3, right? Or should I say the Mini 2? The Mini 2 SE. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I want to move on. They also got a firmware update. And this doesn't really do much to the firmware with the firmware update on it because it's a Mini 2 and a Mini SE. These guys playing, they eat on the kids' table. They don't eat on the adults' table. You know what I'm saying? At Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying? You eat on the kids' table, the adults' table with, the Mavic 3 and, the Enterprise editions. You're on the big table.
I get it.
Even the Air 2S is up on a big table. But the minis on the little table, kids. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really trying real hard to stay quiet, but
yeah. But
keep going.
The Mini 2 and the Mini 2 SE, they got a firmware also. You can now reset this joint the same way you can reset the other ones in the About tab. Go to the About tab and go down there and reset everything. It doesn't just optimize bugs and fixes this, that, and the other, but they have this. You can reset all of the settings just like with the other drones now. So, whoopee. You happy now?
All right. Okay. Acceptable.
Yeah. Okay.
That's acceptable.
So now was when we had the scheduled break.
Hey, Robert Keith
was supposed to come in, but since you did it, you wanted to do it. You don't have to do it now. But coming up soon, somewhere this month, I should say, Drone Safety Day on April 29th, 2023 is coming up.
Right.
Yeah, I know Lawrence is very big on the drone safety. He's those guys safety specialist. He does all the safety checks and makes sure everything is right and before the drone takes off.
Listen. Somebody's got to do it.
The propellers have been checked and the batteries are all charged.
Our batteries are snapped in.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because back in my inexperienced days, someone let me fly an Inspire 1, and the battery wasn't snapped in fully.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't realize the battery wasn't snapped. I won't say who the other person there was there with me, but hey, Robert Keith, we put in the battery on the Inspire. It's a single battery, it's supposed to double snap. Mm-hmm. It only single snapped, and we're flying back and forth along the beach 50, 45 miles per hour, and we came back and land. The battery was sitting like that.
Okay.
So yeah, safety is a big thing. I mean,
yeah, well, that's what they focus on that day, flying safe and stuff like that. They focus on safety. Also with the it being the whole safety
Hey, Bill.
National Drone Safety Awareness Week. So I just want everybody to keep in mind, or not just on that 1 week, to make sure that you cross all your your T's, or dot all your I's and cross all your T's on that day only. Keep in mind whenever you are out flying to just be aware of what's going on, not only just your surroundings, and but what's going on with your drone. Make sure your propellers and stuff like that, because I know I'm big on it. I'll use the hell out of some propellers, boy. They'll be going. I'll use them to the paint coming off.
I hear you. The little yellow strips that, remember, on the Phantom, the carbon props
used to come off.
Yeah. We didn't know back then. Now we know these things. Even a micro fracture on your prop. That's why it's good to check your props before you take off. A micro fracture could turn into a split or snap off completely.
If it's got any kind of thing like that, no, it's got to come off. But the paint coming off the propeller, shit, I'm still using that, bro.
You didn't do like me. I repainted mine. Serious, the yellow strip. I repainted the yellow strip on my Phantom 4 Pro. Bro. Marcel, how are you, man?
That's just indicated to me that you don't use good paint. No,
maybe, but, Angie.
Drone safety, Safety Day is April 29th of this year.
Yes, this month. So get out there with your drones, promote safety, get people, if people are watching, invite them over, let them see what you're doing on the screen, let them know you're being safe.
It's the 50th anniversary of it.
Really?
Drone Safety Day, yeah, 50th anniversary. Yeah. 5th year. Talking about all these firmware updates and stuff.
Hey, Jerry Bauer.
And I did the firmware update for the Mini 3, the Mini 3 Pro, I should say. See what I'm saying? It's got to have a Pro on it, boy. Put that respect on it. I got the Pro, Mini 3 Pro. Right. I did the firmware update on it, but I also did the app updates on the controllers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we wanted to talk to you guys about this.
Did the app update on the RC Pro, and I'm up to date with the right app. The what's that, 1.9.9? Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So am I.
And
you're going to speak of our experience?
I set a waypoint mission to shoot this site that I'm shooting, and when the drone landed, I set the drone back up to shoot the same waypoint mission again, and the drone did something a little weird. Was the first thing it did weird was, in shooting the waypoint mission in reverse, it tilted the camera down in a way that it shouldn't have.
Right.
And then it did not descend the way it ascended in the waypoint mission.
In the normal sequence. When you were because I remember you did it this way.
Right.
And you rose up on the subject.
Right. And then when going back to do same waypoint mission again, after changing out batteries, going to do the same waypoint mission again, the drone turned around and started to go the other way.
Yes. So we want to know, are you guys experiencing anything as far as doing waypoints if you've done this last update?
I haven't been able to get in touch with DJI yet. I gotta give them a call, because that is some weird shit. And now it wouldn't be I wouldn't be so alarmed about it if it was just one drone. But it was with more than one drone.
This is true. But he's talking about on more than one drone. Yeah. Herman and I have been to this spot several times. We've set up waypoints. We're working on a project, and my drone had the settings from last week because we go weekly to this spot to do what we have to do. And I pulled up the waypoint, and first thing I do is I hover, make sure I have great GPS and everything, and then I point in the direction, I head close to where I want to start the waypoint, because once you load your waypoint hyperlapse, it's supposed to fly there to that spot. Well, Herman experienced what he did. His turned around and faced the building and was going towards the building. Mine took off towards the waypoint, past the waypoint, and was on its way to West Bubblefuck. Because I don't know where the hell it was going, but I had to hit the pause button. You remember, Herman? I was like, yo, where's it going? That's not where it's supposed to go. And I had to hit the pause button and cancel the waypoint and re-enter everything that I did from last week. So if you guys are experiencing it, we'd like to know.
Now, I know a lot of guys might say, well, maybe there's a lot of things that may come into play, and I get that. But from the location where we were standing on a hill over the area in which we are shooting.
Right.
And the drones are in the air no more than, I would say, about 85 to 150 feet, if that.
Yeah.
If 150
if
feet.
If not even 120, because your second waypoint was at like that return waypoint was at like highest point.
It's only like 120 something feet. Yeah.
Okay.
So with that, I just did not get. I didn't, and it's not like both drones were operating at the same time, because they weren't.
Right, because I spot for Herman and Herman spots for me.
It happened at two different intervals in the same area. Now, what I do know is that there's an issue where I can't go to a certain point with the drone, even though this is odd to me. There's a jail in the area, and it's not geofenced, but yet the drone won't fly waypoint over there. Nowhere near that area.
It's a difference. It's so detailed that where the prison is, there's a precinct right there. There's a prison, and
it's a jail.
Even 3 feet over, your drone is not going to respond. But there's nothing as far as a no-fly zone.
Right, nothing. It'll fly over there. It'll fly over there with no problem, but it's not going to do a waypoint over there.
Right. And
I thought that was interesting.
We were doing. We don't need to fly anywhere near the jail, but just found
in that area,
a perimeter around it.
Just going in that area, you can go but so far with the waypoint.
The
drone will fly over there with no problem.
But with this update, talking about
over there.
This particular update Herman's talking about, like he hit me up the night before and was like, "Yo, update the drone," and I did it. And like I said, my waypoint was set from last week, and I had run 2 or 3 waypoints last week fine with no problem. And after this update, my drone was just taking off. It was out. It was gone. I didn't have enough.
It was going up over the buildings on the other side.
Right, exactly. And then when Herman's took off and he wanted to go this way,
it turned around and faced the building. I'm like, wait a minute, the waypoint doesn't go that way. It goes the other way. And it was coming back towards where we were. So I don't know what's going on with it. And we've turned the controllers off and turned the controllers back on. Everything. And this is the behavior that we saw.
Now here's the weird thing. After I redid the waypoint from scratch, from beginning point, normal sequence to the end, and then I did a reverse, it was fine. After I redid it, you remember, because I had to do the reverse hyperlapse back in that direction. But anyway, if you guys did,
I'm still kind of nervous to use that same setting because
I don't trust it.
I don't trust it anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And so expect, cause waypoints can be saved and run at night. Well, we understand that, Jim's droning, but what happened was since this last update on the RC controller and the RC Pro, somehow it's affected the waypoint section of the app.
I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this, but we've experienced this on two.
Right now, had it happened to Herman's drone and not
location.
mine, we would think maybe it was drone related. But because it happened to me first, and then it happened to Herman last week, but we didn't really realize. No, I don't think we realized.
Same day, no.
What
we did realize is that it will not do a waypoint mission towards the
that
jail.
prison. Yeah.
Hey,
cool Bic. He's waiting. I keep telling you, you must use lychee. Ray, Cool Bic has used nothing but lychee since I've known him. I don't even think he has the DJI Fly app in his shit anywhere. He only uses lychee. You know, Cool Bic, I'm getting pushed towards it more and more, man. Seriously, because of that situation. Because of that,
it did some weird shit, bro.
Yeah, and I've taken.
Now there's a couple of other things that may have come into play, but I'm going to test the waters again and see from a different angle if that has anything to do with it. From a different vantage point.
Jim Stroning says he recently did a waypoint. It was right on, but was the waypoint saved?
No, the waypoint was fine.
Yes.
No problem shooting the waypoint.
Correct.
What it was when it went back into the waypoint to shoot
right.
the same mission
If you came down
again,
and swiped out a battery, like some people do waypoints from normal sequence, or they do it from reverse, and waypoints are easy. Yes, they are easy to do. But this DJI app, I've been messing with waypoints for a while. This DJI app, after this update, does Care Refresh cover lychee flights? Good question, Cool Bic.
Yeah, because Cool Bic brought that
because they released the SDKs for it.
Right, and Cool
At
Bic
one time, I believe they did,
but an issue, and they covered it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and Cool Bic would know that's all he uses is lychee, and I believe they recovered. They covered him on his drone, from what I remember in the past.
Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Check this out. You know, California-based drone delivery company, Matternet. You know, they've received that a waiver from the FAA that allows them to a pilot to operate up to 20 aircraft. Yes, 20 to 1.
So 20 of these aircraft.
Yeah, 20 to 1. So we first spoke about this on Wednesday night with those guys, 191, when they first received the waiver. That was we spoke on that back on February 15th of this year.
Right.
When they first, and you see that gentleman there in the video, was that Dr. Stuart Gwynn? That was the gentleman that he was the one that actually, to come off subject, he was the one that actually started the entire program with UPS and Matternet.
Okay.
At Wake Med Hospital, he was the one that actually skyrocketed the whole program, and them being able to, they were actually the first drone airline to get certification from the FAA,
in the States,
from the FAA, to be able to operate as a drone airline. And with the program with Dr. Gwynn and UPS, they now fly from three different medical centers.
Okay.
In North Carolina.
And now they finally have their waiver.
So they have this waiver now to be able to operate up to 20 drones beyond visual line of sight. Because not only was it they able to operate one drone beyond visual line of sight, they're now moving on to testing out now at their test facility in California on testing the beyond visual line of sight flight of 20 drones by one pilot. And this comes after their type certification for production and some other things that they've done with the FAA. But according to Matternet, that this new waiver is based on their software and their autonomous capability and their ability to capture for the data that they've been able to capture on many of their tests that they've done, that they've been able to prove already at their facilities in California that this 20-to-1 can be done safely.
Yes, yep, they've already proved it. And that's what's going to make it interesting because it goes on to say how the cost cuts down dramatically. If you think of the average price of a drone pilot may charge, instead of having 20 pilots for 20 drones, you have one pilot for 20 drones, which cuts down the cost of each delivery. What is the price? What is the price, the number?
I don't know.
I think a dollar, I think I read $1.50 to $2 per delivery, as opposed to it being a lot higher for having per pilot. Say you hire a pilot for $30 an hour, $40 an hour, $50 an hour. Now you got to times that by 20, not anymore because you have one pilot for that same price flying 20 birds.
You know, well, it's funny you mentioned that because they've applied for this waiver over 2 years ago. They applied for this waiver. This is how long they've been able to collect data and test.
And they had to prove it. They had to prove it worked.
The data from them testing it at their test facility, they've been able to prove that it can be done safely. And you know, they happen to have a system to where that they, in case of an emergency, they have a way of taking control or having a safe landing, an issue, or whatever their safety precautions are that they've taken. But they've already been able to do that at their test facilities.
Exactly. I wanted to point out real quick, Gary had asked a question. Do you get paid by the flight for these multiples? I'm pretty sure, Gary, it's like McDonald's. You don't get paid by how many burgers you make. You get paid hourly. So more or less, now honestly, I don't know, but I'm thinking along that logic. And
I'm quite I don't know how that would work because
right.
I don't know, service provider, because they would be listed as a service provider. So a service provider would probably bill the company monthly.
Right. I agree. Gary
monthly,
says,
weekly,
you
whatever
make me
it may
responsible for 20 birds, I better get paid 20 times the responsibility. The FAA approves one pilot for Leonard. The FAA has approved one pilot to be able to fly 20 drones.
Leonard,
yes, one pilot uses AI to fly 20 drones. He's not flying all of them. Hey, Charlie, what's good? I ordered that part.
Hold on. See, this is what I wanted to get into because what happens is that Matternet has what they call a command and control center for these aircraft, where they can control the aircraft from. It was originally done from a one-man setup with a controller in his hand, taking off and flying to one building. It has expanded since they've done this a few years ago. It is expanded. They now have a whole operation where they're going to 3 facilities with Matternet. This is now operating in North Carolina over 3 different facilities that they're going to. So with that, you know, with that being said, now you talk about cost effectiveness, and Lawrence had brought this up. They claim that experts say that 20-to-1 for a drone is necessary to make it
cost effective
because of when you're looking at I can send a guy out with a scooter with the same amount of stuff that you're going to take in 2-3 trips with that drone.
True.
Now, for you to be able to operate these drones, now keep in mind, yes, you're now monitoring the drones. The drones will be operating autonomously because they're not.
Go ahead.
Keep in mind that they're monitoring the drones. They're not all going to the same location.
True. And as Bill says, it's one pilot that uses AI to fly 20 drones. So it's not like he's manually flying all these drones. Like
right. It's not like he's monitoring. He's monitoring.
Just like in a train tower, you have 1 or 2 guys that monitor 8 to 20 trains in a subway system per sector. Coming through their sector. They have to monitor those trains.
Dispatcher.
Yeah.
Dispatcher that controls the whole damn subway system.
You think so still?
I know so.
Oh, okay.
I've worked down there.
Oh, okay.
Anything that you see happen in the subway is because they made it happen.
Oh, I can believe it.
Unless somebody, did something wrong, other than that. And they won the car on Family Feud, Lawrence.
That's what it is. I'm waiting to get off here and watch.
Eat dinner. But that's what's happening with that. I'm curious to see what's going on more with Matternet. Matternet, like I said, was the first drone airline in the United States, and they're working with UPS, and that doctor that you saw in the video there, Dr. Gwen, he was the one that really started the whole program because they needed to be able to move between 2 different buildings. It was not 2 different buildings, a couple of different buildings with all this whole campus complex of the hospital. And they came up with this system and got UPS and everybody involved, and it has skyrocketed to 3 different facilities.
Right. Right. It means they're putting in
samples. Yeah, they're moving blood samples and stuff like that. Plus, it was also a test ground for other things to be able to be done. So now that they know it can be done, moving right along. Because this one here is a little bit to swallow and it's a lot for me to get to, but we talk about these drones and flying 20 to 1 and stuff like that, but the good people over at MIT, MIT, they have researched a new algorithm to prevent drone collision.
Yes.
Now, what they call it, Midair, was a
yes.
Yeah, they presented this it was presented by MIT back in 2020. A system that supposedly is designed to prevent crashes between drones occupying the same airspace.
Right.
Well, it is what they call a multi-angular triangular system or platform. Now, what this is supposedly does is it enables groups of drones to fly different trajectories and avoid collisions
by telling the other drones their trajectory.
Right, but they read each other and they communicate with one another of each other's trajectory, and they basically, what they were saying with this system is that the drones don't necessarily have to. This was a whole lot to swallow listening to them and talk about this. And I kind of wrote down some notes on it. It was a little funny because they developed a new system, which is now Midair is more robust. It's supposedly an asynchronous a decentralized multi-angle trajectory platform that these drones are able, like Lawrence said. Now what they've noticed with different readings of drones and the drones being able to see where the other drone is going and overlapping of the site, they notice that there's still a chance for collision of the drones.
Right.
But when the drones have chosen, each one operates its own system and communicates back to its own what the trajectory that is chosen on its flight path, and they do what is necessary to one another to change its ever so slightly in its flight path to not collide with one another. And they notice that the movement is slower than before,
but they don't collide.
But they don't collide with one another.
Right. No, I wanted to point out something in the video. I stopped sharing, stupid. Hold on. I wanted to point this out in the video here. If you're wondering what these little boxes are, these boxes are actually moving obstacles. Even though the drones are communicating to each other, they have two obstacles that these drones have to communicate, and these obstacles also have to avoid.
So right. They're designed to be able to operate in areas where things are moving.
But basically, every drone is telling the other drone, this is where I'm going. You stay out of that lane. And the drone is saying, okay, then I'll go that way. It makes a lot of sense. Like you said, it's a lot slower, but it works now.
Yeah, right? I thought that was interesting because we're talking about operating drones with more than one person operating the drone.
And here it is.
And this is why when guys talk about how this whole thing with drones and a lot of things won't work, this is what they're talking about. You have to be able to get past this for these things to actually be possible.
True. Yeah. If you want to see the video in full with audio, if you want to see the video in full, because I could barely understand the guy, but that's
he was hard to understand. But I read some articles, and I was listening to him is hard to listen. But reading the articles, I understand what they were talking about the movement and one drone choosing a trajectory and another drone choosing another trajectory, but not having to simultaneously move at the same time through the same space, even though the trajectories cross one another. Right. I understood how that worked.
It makes sense.
Because overlapping sight and of trajectories, they noticed that the drones could still collide with one another. So drones would choose which one would go first, as opposed to I'm moving this way. And so now the drone will say, okay, I'm going to go this way first and you're going to come along, but we're all going to be able to move when we need to move. And they found that it's now a little slower, but there's no one colliding. It's a lot to take in. And maybe I lost a couple hundred people who was watching the stream. I don't know.
Well, it's almost that time.
Yeah.
It's almost that time anyway. We're about to get out of here. There are a bunch of other good live streams on tonight.
You said 1,600 Canadian?
Yeah, he's selling. He said DJI has to get their drones to be able to follow mobility scooters like Skydio. I brought the Mini 3 Pro, no go. Want to sell it now. 6 batteries and a hard case.
Oh.
For 1,600 Canadian.
I'm sorry. What was you expecting from the Mini 3 Pro?
This is true with only 2 sensors.
I'm just curious to know because I said this from when the Mini 3 when the Mini Pro first came out, and I said as DJI as the Phantom and the Mavic series, the older Mavic series, and the Phantom brought everyone to DJI. As DJI started to create these slightly or less expensive drones with the whole mini series, I thought that, and I knew that guys were going to buy these drones thinking that it says DJI, it's going to do what I saw the other guy doing. And that's not necessarily the truth.
Right.
That's why I always say that some of these things are limited. Now, with some of the firmware updates that it's got on it, that's about most you're going to get for the money that you're paying for some of these things. It's sad to say, but we're going to pay a little bit more to get into the tech. And like I said before, when I first got into it to fly with the big boys, the price to pay was $1,500.
Right.
It wasn't no little, drone that I could get for $300 from DJI and say that I'm flying a DJI drone. It just wasn't.
Right. Well, we're sorry to hear that you're not happy with it. Seriously, but you got like Herman mentioned, it's the drone itself, which is a great drone, depending on what you have it doing.
Right.
And people have to remember that when you buy a $300 DJI drone or you buy a $10,000 DJI drone, depending on what you have it doing. Have a good evening, Fly Guy. Depending on what you,
good evening.
I don't expect to map 100.
You don't want to expect.
I don't expect to map 2 acres or an acre with a Mini 3.
No, but follow. I get what he's saying. I expected to do at least follow me or something like that. You know what I mean? Shit for that.
Good night, Gary.
For that type of drone. Good night, Gary. For that drone, for what it does, yeah, I expected to be able to do that. Come on.
Right. My FPV drones won't follow me either. I feel the same way, Marcel. I'm with you on that.
But it's not promised to do that.
This is true. That's true.
And I get it. Maybe and is that a feature? Because I don't use those autonomous features other than the waypoints, maybe to do what I'm doing, because I can do it with the waypoint. I can do it other ways, but
waypoints make it easier.
Yeah, waypoints make it easier.
Exactly. Like, here's the perfect example. You may hire me to do a job, and the simple job of just catching an orbit of a subject. Now, I may do that depending on if I give you a price. Okay, the price is going to be one thing. But if you come to me and say, can you be a little cheaper? I may not do that perfect circle. I may do it manually.
I understand what he's saying. I get what he's saying about as far as he bought the Mini 3 Pro and he expected.
Okay, that's 400 US.
The Mini 3 to follow me. I understand that, and it's not working properly. If it's a feature on it, it should. I mean, what is that? The active track?
Yeah,
they call it now. I don't use it. So
yeah. This is true. But Herman, it's that time. It's 1 minute after.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
I can put dinner on and watch Mandalorian.
Really? Dinner is made already. I made dinner early.
Tomorrow is my first day off in a minute from everything.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I'm going to watch I'm going to eat dinner, fix a drink, and watch Mandalorian.
It's probably. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
If not, you'll probably be back over there.
Yeah, well, we know we got to do. Listen, we appreciate you all. I agree, Marcel. Soon.
What?
Very soon.
What?
He's saying our FPV birds are getting better. Now we can land them near us with a simple fail-safe return to home. Maybe one day we will get follow me.
Maybe. And technology is growing and everything, man.
That is true. But we appreciate you all. Thank you for supporting those guys.
Yeah, we thank you all for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Those of you who did come and hang out with us, we thank you. Thank you very much. Some of you guys
appreciate the lurkers too.
Some of you guys are still getting back from the South Florida drone meetup. I hope you all enjoyed the South Florida drone meetup. I wish I could have made it. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could have been out there to hang out with. Like, I saw the videos, I saw everyone's videos, but like I said, I thank you guys for all coming and hanging out with us, and you guys have a good night. Lawrence, what was that? Fly what?
Be safe, fly safer.
Okay, and with that, Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those guys.
Good night, everyone.